And I'm Judy. Oh dear. And we are the two loco ladies today.
Yeah, maybe a little more loco than usual. Like every time we go to start the recording, something crazy happens. And it's like a private joke because they never see what we're laughing about.
Shel was just so ready to get started. She just full speed ahead today.
Nailed it.
I'm ready to have things slow down because it's been like one thing after the other after the other. As soon as you turn on the TV, or turn on social media, let's get bombarded with something else. Ugh.
This nutball's out there. And then, when your private life, you're like, oh, at least I can count on that. It's like, nope, we're going to, pretend to be like we're our own social media and news network. We're just going to stir it up a little bit in here. And it's like, come on. Why can't I even just go to bed with just something normal? The weather. Let's not forget about the weather.
Remember those days when we used to have routines and every day was this.
Oh my gosh. I was just talking to my husband about that earlier today. I was griping about, it must be nice to have a routine. And he's all like, well, I'm not going to start rotating around you. And I'm like, dude, all I do is rotate around you. And I'm so jealous. Like, you have set hours and just like, he just looks at me like, oh, okay.
I wish my husband had set hours. It seems like he was off last Thursday because we had roofers come in to look at our roof. He was off on Monday because he had grand jury duty. I'm like, can you just go to work? Every Wednesday, you're supposed to work from home, so I can plan Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and what? But no, he's just like killing me.
Yeah, it's usually my husband that's that way, and it's just like, and my husband's the one with the routine, and it's like, yeah. This past week, your husband has been like, my husband is like, dude, we can't have them both be off the wall.
Yeah.
That's probably why I cracked down on mine so hard today about, can you just get on your routine?
Yeah. Please, I need my routine.
You
past the stage where hormones matter, but
it's like Judy and I are loco, but man, come on, you're pushing the limits here.
There's a reason why we're loco. So, loaded question. What struck you from the news the past week?
Holy mackerel. Like, did you ever just think, it's like, can't get any crazier, right? And you're just like, yeah, my seatbelt's already on. I've got the thing twisted up and everything. Now I'm like strapping myself to the seat with like other things, and it's like racing for it.
Hang
on. Coming at you. Yeah, it's like, and can it just get any more bizarre?
No.
Let's just go ahead and call out the elephant in the room. What the heck with the Trump thing? Seriously, like, we all knew he was going to get he's going to be guilty of something, but seriously? Come on.
Yeah. Now, I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, but like right there, like we would, like I said, my dad, to go to work, would leave Pennsylvania, drive through New York to get to where he worked in Pennsylvania. We lived right on that state line. Now, upstate New York politically is completely different than New York City. Completely. But, I don't want to tell anybody right now that I grew up in New York. No, I don't want to do it. No.
Even if you don't like the man, like, I don't see how you can't find some of this just ridiculous. Like, what on earth are you? How are you not horrified by the things that are happening right now?
I heard today that 34 felony charges for a bookkeeping error because he wrote lawyer fees, or he doesn't keep his own books. Lawyer fee, when he paid $150,000, I don't know, to What's Cohen? Really, dude? He doesn't keep his own books for starters, and I get that. He's still responsible for it. Just no. Just no.
Even
How
if you kept your own
many
book, good
thousands of
grief.
dollars did Clinton pay? What's her face?
This is all just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like you.
But there are some good things that have come out of it. He broke. He broke. So right after the conviction, his website that he takes donations, small donations from, crashed. And Junior put up another one and it crashed because so many people then wanted to donate.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's
Blew my mind.
unbelievable in a good way. It's like I think people are, even the people that were never a fan are understanding, like, wow, if they're going to do that to him, they can do this to all of us, any of us.
Speaking of that, I did see, I don't know if you've heard about this. So last election, the Biden Harris campaign was coming up 35 out of San Antonio towards Austin. And I don't remember all the details. It was like 4 years ago. A woman with a Trump flag passed them or something, and they're suing her for harassment. And they have been suing her for harassment.
I haven't heard about
freedom of speech. So I saw her on some social media saying it's not going to happen to you or us. It's already happening. And I had heard about the case on and off because that's where I live. But yeah, I'm off fuzzy on some of the details. But yeah, it happened on 35. Just like,
wow.
You got to be kidding me.
See, there's so many bizarre things happening all the time that you just can't be aware of all of them.
Yeah.
And if you don't live in a specific area where it happened, you probably aren't hearing about it.
Like, did you know that Atlanta is without water?
Really?
Some of Atlanta is without water, have been days without water.
What happened there?
I don't know. I just heard a snippet of this. And I'm just like, what? Why is Atlanta without water? I'd have to Google it to find out. Maybe they have water now. I don't know. But I'm just like, what?
Well, and they're always saying that we could be hit with attacks on our water supply. Oh, could it have been something like that? And that's why we're not hearing? I hate to be all...
I'm doing the googly thing.
Okay, I'll try to hold it together while you do what I normally do.
Atlanta mayor declares state of emergency following water main breaks. Hospital that moved patient resumes normal operation. Yeah, so a significant disruption to water service in Georgia's capital is the latest dramatic example of how aging infrastructure throughout the United States has impacted electrical grid, bridges, roadways, dams, and other vital. I didn't hear anything about that. And this was dated 3 days ago, June 2nd.
And it's not like Atlanta is some podunk little town, and that's why you didn't hear about it. That's a big area.
Yeah, it's a major airline hub. And they're moving people out of a hospital. I'm just like, why wasn't this on the news?
Maybe it was, but maybe we didn't hear about it because of all the Trump hubbub.
Well,
look at all the stuff that we were distracted by that happened over here with the other hand.
Yeah. Biden gave Ukraine permission to use our stuff made in the USA to go onto Russian soil. Just to be kidding me.
And like the timing of this stuff with the D-Day, this is all just so strangely ironic.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Who was a big factor in that whole winning the war and the D-Day thing? Russia.
Yeah.
This is so weird.
Yeah, it is. It's just, well, Russia's already said that if any allies, any of our allies, not their allies,
It's getting
have
complicated with who the allies are to who now.
who's on what side? Anyways, if they use any of our weapons, British weapons, whatever, that there will be consequences to pay. And who didn't see that coming?
Like, literally, I can't believe the man has been this patient this long.
Yeah. Yeah. Was he right to invade Ukraine? Probably not. Are there reasons that we're not told as a general public?
Sure.
Probably. I've dealt with enough stuff in the military to know that there are things that I'm not privileged to know, and frankly, I don't want to know. Just don't want to know.
I'm hoping, like, here's the thing. Like, sometimes we know now that we all live in our own little bubble, and COVID brought a lot of things to light, and we all know to one degree or another, we've all been duped, we've all been fooled, we've all been misled, we've all been nudged, and keeping that in mind, sometimes I wonder if I'm getting overly optimistic that enough people are awake and over this. And then sometimes I see certain things and I'm like, oh, heck no, they're just as dumb and blind as before.
Yeah, and I keep seeing, especially with you're going to vote for a felon? Look at my options. A felon who committed a bookkeeping error, or an old guy who the DOJ has said was guilty of having classified documents but is not of sound mind to be tried.
Well, and we've
come on, people.
Definition of felon these days anyway. I mean, we're letting people come into our country that were literally let out of prison in other countries, and we are focusing our energy, time, and money on trying a man that was able to be our president legally before now. No one cared about his bookkeeping error then. No one cared about any of the things that they're claiming is suddenly a problem now.
They all liked him while he was a Democrat. They all thought he was great.
Yeah, and how many people forgot that? Now, I was saying this the first time he ran, because I'm just going to put it out there. I am libertarian. I was big L libertarian. I'm now more little L libertarian. I know a lot of people probably don't even understand what that means.
That's cute.
So, like, the first time Trump ran, I was like, what the hell? Are y'all crazy? Because he used to be a Democrat, and now he's running as a Republican. And, like, did all of your brains fall out, or you were all born yesterday and nobody remembers this? And so I was just like, no, I did not vote for him the first time. I'm going to freaking admit it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that everyone assumes because I'm from Texas, blah, 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 I must be a Trump-loving, crazy nut Republican. But the second time, I did vote for him.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm like, we just got to stop the bleeding, people.
It has been my thought for years, and I'm talking decades. I want to say decades ago, he went on the Oprah Winfrey show, Trump did, and she asked him if he would run for president. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't know if he's a Democrat or Republican, because I didn't care. What we needed was a businessman in charge who knew how to run stuff and how to get stuff done, because it seems like what gets done? Absolutely nothing. They had Fauci yesterday. They had who did they testify today? Somebody was, I don't remember. So many people. And I'm thinking, good on you. You've subpoenaed these guys. You've had them on the hot. What you gonna do about it, Congress? Absolutely nothing. And you need.
We can get Trump on a bookkeeping error, but it's okay for Fauci to blatantly lie to the American people and other countries. Hello, Rand Paul called this man out as a liar a while back ago, and he called Rand an idiot and a liar that didn't know what he was talking about, and now it's just all out in the open and pretty much an admitted lie. But that's okay. But let's get someone for a bookkeeping error lie, okay?
And let's face it, I have no experience with big business, obviously. But you're hiring people, you've got staff, and yes, it is ultimately your responsibility. But so many, he must have had so many details going through his mind. I don't know. They saw something they wanted, and the judge, I'm sorry, the judge should have recused himself.
Oh, this whole thing stinks to high heavens.
When your wife and your daughter are both making money off the deal, that just stinks.
It's never been more true, the saying, follow the money, than it has been the last 4 years.
Yeah, most definitely. So, because I'm curious, so we have the whole Trump thing. Do you think there's actually going to be an election?
I don't know anymore. Part of me says yes, and part of me says no, because I see it going bad either way. Mm-hmm. I don't think this ends well, no matter how it ends. Yeah. I think it's going to be ugly no matter what happens.
I did see a lot of memes though after. So he was convicted on Thursday. So by Friday night, Saturday, I keep seeing the memes. Well, did you see us all out rioting in the streets and burning cities down because we didn't like the verdict? No, because we're responsible. We just helped him raise more money.
I saw that.
Got to be kidding me. And you saw he's on TikTok. Trump is.
Well, I don't have TikTok. I'm one of those people that are like holding out and just being like, nah, I refuse to do that. But if someone sends me something, I will watch it.
My husband and I will be sitting there at night. Let's see how many TikTok followers Trump has now.
What's he up to?
This morning, it was over 5 million.
Woo!
Go ahead and ask me how many. Sorry, Nat. How many TikTok followers Biden has?
5.
350,000.
I'm surprised.
Now, granted, TikTok is an international platform. They're probably not all Americans. We know there was a Trump rally in the UK over the weekend saying that you Americans out there need to elect Trump because he's the only one who can save everyone, not just the U.S. So some of those might be a high percentage of those followers are not American, but still 5 million followers. He announced that he was going on TikTok at a UFC event on Friday night. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and he has 5 million.
Well, It is true. They have always said that, if America falls, where will everyone else run to?
Yeah.
So I think it is, yes, some of those followers definitely are from other countries. And how could they not be interested in what happens here?
Yeah.
What happens here affects them too. If we have so many things going on, like the BRICS, of course, people from other countries are going to be interested in what's happening because it's either way it goes, either we stand or we fall. And if we fall, they benefit in different ways.
Different people benefit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but still, it blows my mind. So, we are both Texans. We both live in Texas. I live a little closer than you do. What do you think about Biden's executive order today?
Oh, put me on the spot. I don't know. I didn't see it. What happened?
See it. So The man who said he could do nothing, has signed an executive order saying that only, and I didn't, I'm just seeing recaps of it. I did not see his actual 2,500 people can come across the border a day and then they cut it off. Unless you've used the border app and then you can come on over.
Well, so everybody gets a free cell phone. Of course, they're using a border app. So what's the difference with the number?
I never even thought of that connection.
It's like Sonic saying you can now get happy hour if you put your order in the app.
Yeah.
Well, of course, everybody's going to put their order in the app to get the happy hour.
Everybody has a cell phone.
Right? Okay, that's what I think about it.
Yeah, I just
2,500 though. So let's
you do the math, isn't that like
nothing compared to what we've been having?
It's still 1 million people a year. More than 1 million people a year.
Yeah, well, okay, let's just put the app aside and pretend like that's not going to happen. Let's just say they're really going to stick to this.
That's 75,000 people a month in a 30-day month.
Yeah, still a lot. But let's just say they do it. So there's literally going to be someone standing there with this little ticker ticking off everything.
Who wants the ticker today?
Oh, stop right there. That's 2,500. Oh, little Sally, you were 2,501. Oh, sorry, too bad. Bull crap.
But that's not even the point. You've got Texas. Does New Mexico have part of the border? Arizona and California.
Yeah, right? New Mexico has part of the border too, and you never hear crap from them.
You never do.
But
you're telling me all those points of entry are going to be keeping a running tally that are going to all be coordinated to stop at 2,500?
They're not.
I worked for the government. No.
Why would you?
That's my health care. They're not that organized.
No. Why would you believe them anyway? After all the lies they've told us and been busted in the last couple of years, if you still believe anything they tell you, I was going to say I have some oceanfront property to sell you, but as much as it's been raining, I have a pond in my front yard. I will have some oceanfront property any minute. But
at least lakefront, right?
Yeah, but I got some to sell you if you still believe them.
And I joined the Army when I was 18 years old. I was very naive. President Reagan was in charge, so the dollar was strong. I was actually in Germany when they terroristic bombs the Frankfurt airport. And we had protesters because I dealt with big freedom seeds. That's what we dealt with. So they constantly protested our site, but I still believed in, what I was doing. I still believed that it was for, I was both of my sons have been in the military. My oldest son is no longer in the military. My daughter-in-law is. Would I want my daughters? No. Nope. I would prefer my son and my daughter-in-law got out.
Yeah, and I can't blame the young kids that don't want to join today. Can't blame them at all. I mean,
Katie, my daughter-in-law did not want to get. They pressured her into getting it. They told her they were gonna chapter her out. She was one of the last people that actually,
held out and then couldn't hold out anymore.
Yep. So
sucks.
Did I get the vaccine? Yes. This is my theory. Do I believe the vaccine is effective? No. Did I believe it was effective then? No. I'm old as shit. It doesn't matter.
Judy.
No, but I'm not going to have any more children. I've lived my life. Getting the vaccine and getting a piece of paper so I could go see my aunt in Florida, No, what did one of my daughters never got it. She got COVID.
Yeah.
But I did not encourage either one of my daughters to get it. My other daughter got one shot, but that's it. She never went back for any of the rest.
Well, I'm one of those rare true bloods that still exist. But I will say that I'm one of the lucky people that because I was deemed non essential, I wasn't pressured to have to.
My husband was. He was one of the first people here in Austin. He worked in a lab. He was the one processing all these tests. He actually, when they first came out with the, he was one of the first people here in Austin to get tested because he
Yeah,
works in the lab, so they wanted to see how it worked. And he was
that
one of
makes
the first to
sense.
get the vaccine. But then again, our theories are we're old. What actually is it going to do to me? If I was still childbearing age, nope, wouldn't have done it.
But I mean, you're older. You're not old. You're one of the older people. You're not old. You're not one of the people that were so elderly that had to be protected and
Correct.
put in a nursing home and all of that stuff, which that was wrong too. They
Yes.
set those people up to die.
Yep.
They purposely put sick people in there with them, which is disgusting.
Yes, it is.
But
And one of the reasons why I did, get the two vaccines, I've never had a booster. I wanted to go see my aunt in Florida, and they didn't want anybody to see her unless they had been vaccinated. And I get that. She very fragile health. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see her before she passed. So
I'm sorry, that sucks. There's
yeah,
so many
she
people
did
that
not die of COVID. She heart failure, but
yeah, but it doesn't matter what she died of. There were so many people that were robbed of goodbyes because of this,
yeah.
whether it was COVID or not. Like, I had an aunt that died of cancer that was not COVID related. Didn't go to her funeral.
Yeah.
Same situation.
Now, I've told you, my stepmom lives in a 55 plus community in Florida. She's very conservative. She's had talks with her friends that had a loved one pass away during this whole kerfunkel. And one of them on the death certificate says COVID. And his wife was like, he didn't have COVID. He died of heart cancer or heart failure. I don't remember what it was, but they put COVID on the death certificate.
I've heard a lot of people say that. And I don't know anyone personally that happened to, but a lot of people have said that. And that is disgusting too.
Yeah. They just wanted, it's kind of like, they wanted to boost their numbers.
Well, yeah. And there's a difference of dying with it and dying of it. my
Yeah.
father, my father died too with it, not of it. He had a heart attack
Yep.
and he had COVID. Let's see. He had gotten COVID the week and a half before the heart attack. He had been hospitalized. He had been sent home. He was just supposed to finish out his quarantine. And I was supposed to go visit with him and stay with him. But he told me to wait till he came off of quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
2 days before he came off of quarantine, he had a heart attack.
Yeah. And could it have been a factor? Yes. If he'd had a cold or the flu, we know that weakens your immune system. It could have weakened his heart.
Yeah, but they don't say he died of a cold or the flu. They say he died of a heart attack.
Yep, exactly. And I've had COVID, what, twice now? Once? I don't remember. I think I've had it twice. And I had the flu right after I had COVID. Had COVID before I went on vacation. Was good to go on vacation. Came home and got the flu. The flu was worse than the COVID.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I am one of those rare weirdos that, as far as I know, I have not had it. but I've also never officially tested for it either. But
My granddaughter's the
anytime,
same.
anytime I had been exposed to it, the people that had caught it or, been exposed to it that had been around me, they were tested and they came back negative. So I was like, there's no point in me running down anywhere and getting a test. I'm not essential anyway. No one gives a rip.
Now, my husband, the last 2 times he's had COVID, I never tested positive.
And see, that's another thing. People are like, it's you're false positive, or maybe you never. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't see the point.
Yeah. Now we do because when we traveled once, we went rock hunting in North Carolina and then went to see his sister. And it was like 4 days later, they found out, it might not even have been 4 days. She had COVID and then she passed away. It was that quick.
Wow.
It was probably more than 4 days. But we test because we were traveling and I didn't want to give it to somebody else. We tested. We never tested positive, either one of us. So unfortunately, both her and her husband. But that being said, also is they were not healthy people. There was other circumstances there, and it's just, ugh.
Yeah. See, it's hard to say. Like, maybe I never felt sick because I was non-essential and I stayed home and I was always healthy.
Yeah. And I think that prior health does have a big role in it. I really do. But who knows? My husband keeps getting it. I don't know. He's at it, what now, 4 times?
But he works in a lab, so it kind of makes sense that he would.
Well, the first time he got it, he had been traveling. And when he travels, he goes, he meets a group of people, they come back to the airport when it's done, and they fly home. Nobody he met there got COVID. So we're pretty sure he got it like at the airport and I don't remember what airport he was at, and then here in Texas. And then he promptly gave it to me, and I gave it to Marilyn. Chelsea never got it, so.
See?
But
there's just like no rhyme or reason. I think it really just comes down to like every other illness, your immune system, your personal immune system.
When we travel, we dose up really high on vitamin C, vitamin D, multivitamins every single day. Just because, how many times have you traveled and gotten the flu? You come home with that vacation crud. So.
Yeah. Well, and there are variations to your immune system because different things can affect your immunity at the time.
Yep.
So when you leave to go on vacation, maybe your immune system is compromised because you pulled a whole lot of double shifts or overnighters so you could cram in and get more done before you left on your vacation.
Yep. Stress has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, then you fly with all these other people that were also stressed either on business or cramming for their vacation. And then you hang out in some foreign country, if you're lucky, that's where you went on your vacation, and you got exposed to all of their stuff. Yep. And then you come home, and then you know how it is when you say, I need to go back to work to get a break from my vacation, to like rest up from my vacation. So you're worn down and you go to work.
Sorry. Say hi to Walter.
I was wondering if Walter was going to show up today.
Yeah, there's Walter. My door slowly opens. You guys need to go downstairs. Dad's on his way. Go on downstairs. Go on, Aurora. There we go. He's a big baby. These storms that we've been having, he does not like them.
I can't blame him. I have not been a fan of this weather. It's spring and it's Texas, so it's tornado season. But this is I'm so done with it.
Have you gotten any hail or anything? Just the rain?
If we've gotten hail, it's been small, normal size hail. Nothing like you got, which was like baseball size in your area a couple weeks ago. And I hope
my daughter did get her insurance claim. She got like $4,000 damage from her hail on her car. Cracked her windshield. She has to get a new windshield.
We had to get a new windshield on one of our vehicles, not from hail, from stupid stunts from husband. But anyway, he
My
was,
husband has a cracked windshield right now.
yeah, this was really bad though. There was actually like a hole all the way through it.
Oh.
Anyway, I was like, yeah, you can't be driving that. So normally we have gotten our windshields replaced by a safe light in the past
Mm-hmm.
because we live out in the country and it's just like easier since he works weird hours to just have them come out.
Yeah.
And this time they were like, no, we can't come out and do it. You're going to have to bring it somewhere. And I was like really irritated. And it was like more expensive than usual too. And I was like, what is going on? And then I thought about it and I said, oh, it's because it's one of these newer cars that has like the computer systems in it and it's got a camera in the windshield to see the lines on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm all like, you better be careful with this new windshield, man.
That being said, I cracked not the car I'm driving now, but the car I had before that. I cracked the windshield. I'd had the car maybe a week. Truck kicked up something, and I drove that way for a year. No, probably two, because in Texas you get those first 2 years for free without an inspection.
Yeah, if it's a new car, yeah.
Yeah, so I called around. It was going to be $1,000 to replace that windshield because of all the cameras and everything. And I'm just like, you have got to be kidding me.
That's
And
ridiculous.
so finally, there was a good old guy out here in the country. He says, I'll do it for $500. Your camera's so fine. And we took it out to him. He slapped the new one in there. He says, if you have any problems, I can adjust them for you, your cameras and everything. But I'm not going to charge you for that if you really don't need it. And my cameras were fine. It's still the lane departures, the forward, the front, and the rear. Yeah. I had no problems with it whatsoever.
That's interesting. So maybe next time just look a little harder.
Yeah, it was just some guy out here. I could get you back there, but some guy out in the boonies out there between Kyle and Buda, Texas. I'm just like, okay. My car passed inspection, so I was good.
Yeah. So I think it depends on if you use your lane assist or not. Probably if it's a big deal.
And my lane assist still worked. He
Yeah.
just put the cameras right back to where they were and everything, and they still worked and everything. So
Yeah, but on the off chance you didn't get it right, like if you didn't use your lane assist, it wouldn't really matter to you.
yeah. And he said, at that point, I could have come back and he would do all the steps that he needed to do. So
That's
why
so nice.
do it if I don't need to do it? But that's
Right?
just another one of those things. Now I got all 3 dogs and a cat in here. Just saying.
Well, at least they're quiet.
It will be until Aurora here jumps over the bucket to get to the cat. Okay, so next topic. What are we doing because of the Trump verdict? What are you doing? I know you are.
Well, yeah, I'm like whatever I was already doing in preparation of just in case that the poopy hits the fan. I've just doubled down.
Yeah.
Because I think, even though I already knew like this is probably going to happen, it's like once when you anticipate something or you feel strongly in your bones something's going to happen, is different when it actually happens. And then when it actually happens, it's like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where I am. And you?
Definitely. That freeze dry wasn't going yesterday. It is going today. But I've been like right now, I can smell the chicken in the crock pot just cooking down because I cook the chicken and then I shred it and add seasoning to it and then freeze dry it. We had really good roast this weekend. I made 2 of them in the crock pot, so I can now slice those up and those will go in the freeze dryer with the chicken tomorrow.
Well, I have not been able to run mine because it has been raining and storming so much. We've had the electricity flickering all the time. And I was like, I'm not running it. I do not want my machine fried. So all I have been doing is cooking, and preparing things for when I can run it. So I will have a bunch of stuff ready to just go in back to back to back to back. As soon as one batch finishes, I'll have another one ready. So my freezer had a lot of uncooked food in it, and that is now cooked and putting back in frozen on trays ready to go.
Yep. You just, because even if doo doo doesn't hit the fan, the cost of meat, it cost me $26 for these 2 roasts at Costco.
Yeah.
I'm just like, holy moly, that price is only going to keep going up.
Yeah, and we've cut back on the amount of meat that we eat. But and my freezer had been full. I couldn't fit any more in there, and so this is good too. Like when you freeze dry it, you also already take up less space and you free up your freezer again. So I've been working on that so that I can make room to put more meat in there or whatever. And whenever I went to Sam's Club, I looked at the meat and I was like, since I haven't been forced to buy any in a while, it was kind of like sticker shock for me.
Yeah.
You know? And I found drumsticks, chicken drumsticks, 99 cents a pound. That was the best deal I could find. And so I bought a whole bunch of those, and I have been running those through the crock pot because those are easy to debone, the drumstick. Much easier than like a whole chicken. I don't like it. So time consuming.
So I do want to get some of those rotisserie chickens from from Costco or Sam's to do.
I did for one of those and they were sold out. I was like, man, everybody had my idea today. They already cut all the chicken.
You know, I didn't even look. So I was just kind of stressed. I'm just like, I just want to get in and get out.
I wonder how many other people had the same idea because it's hard to tell these days. Like before, you know, like during COVID, it was hard to tell for a while because everybody had to stand in line to get in a store, period, to begin with. And then after a while,
you remember that.
Yeah, and then after a while, people kind of calmed down. Oh, it's getting kind of normal again. But then, like, if you paid attention to how people were behaving in the store and you looked in their carts and were nosy, you could kind of get an idea of what people were thinking and doing, and you could tell. But when I went to the store this time, I was like, I can't tell what's going on here.
That being said, is we both follow a lot of preppers and stuff online, and I have been noticing their follower counts are going way up. So these people may not be actually preparing, but I think more people are aware and are trying to figure it out on what they need to do.
Maybe. I know that, like, whenever I used to go to the store, because I've been in this mode for a very long time, I did take a little break from it here and there, over the years. Like, sometimes we would get to the point where my husband was like, seriously, can you just take a break from this? And I'd be like, okay. And then I'd take a break, and then, like, poop would hit the fan in some way, and then he'd be like, why did you stop? And I'd be like, you know what I mean? But it's like, I forgot my point now.
See, we've never been able to, because in the military, we moved every 3 to 5 years. So, yeah, I would have a pantry full of stuff so we didn't have to panic. But then before you move, you're either using it or giving it away because you don't want that weight to move. And then you get to the new location and you start all over again.
Yeah, and that makes sense in those situations. Oh, I remember my point now. So,
I knew you'd come to you.
So whenever I would look at people's carts back, and see what people were doing, and I don't know why I'm doing this again, when it would be kind of a crazy time when I would think people should be freaking out and maybe like, getting a few extra groceries and stuff, I would sometimes look in their carts and I'd think, oh gosh, like literally scared for them, worried for them, and thinking, how can you be this way? Especially if they had small children. Because all you would see in their cart would be like TV dinners, frozen dinners, fast food items like chips or, the prepackaged stuff.
Artificial ingredients.
Yeah, just stuff that has no nutrition value in it and isn't going to last very long.
Yep.
And now this is why it's getting hard to tell, because now when you go by and you look in people's carts, even though it looks semi-normal because they're not overflowing with stuff like, oh, I'm going to go fill my bunker with as much crap as possible because no one can afford to do that now. Yeah. seeing in their carts are like more nutritional foods now, like
That's
things that
good.
are shelf-stable. Yeah, and so I'm like, either people are getting it now, or I'm just hitting and missing on the wrong days.
Yeah, I completely agree. It, you know, and it's gotten to a point where my closet is full. My tornado closet is full, and we got shelves just so I'd have some place to put all my canning goods up because I love to can, and now all my freeze dried stuff is going into canning jars. And now I'm like, one thing I stock up on is dog food, and my husband gets this box of Chewy gets delivered to. It's like, where are we going to put this? So we have a shed outside, and we have the chicks in it. Well, now the chicks are in the chicken coop, and now what we're going to do is we're going to put.
Uh-oh.
We're going to put an air conditioner in the shed
Uh-huh.
because it's a well built shed, and it's wired for electric and everything. We're going to put air conditioner in the shed and move the bunnies into the shed.
Okay.
But we're also going to use part of that shed to store, like, we have extra butane and for the grill and stuff, and the dog food and the cat food and the bunny food and the chicken food we can all store in the shed because it's weather resistant and no pests get in there. Because we're looking for more places to put our hoard.
Yeah, and you don't want to
We
put
don't have a bunker.
Yeah, you don't want to put your food supply out there because it's a little harder to monitor. Like, if your air conditioner stops working, you don't know for 8 hours, then it's too late, or whatever.
Well, I do because the bunnies are out there. I have a little thing it will notify my phone of the temperature. Yeah, because my Angora bunnies can't get too hot.
Right.
So when our electric went out last week, that's what I was worried about. I'm like, the electric needs to come back on before it starts getting hot out because those bunnies with all that fur, yeah, they don't do well.
Yeah.
So I can smell that chicken.
My crock pot has been going nonstop, and sometimes my oven, and I would just be like in the kitchen, just be like, so tired, I just want to go to bed, but I have to wait to take this out. But
that's the nice thing about the freeze dryer. You just hit more time.
I know, I got spoiled to that. But with the crock pot thing, like, you can go ahead and go to sleep. You can just lower the temperature or whatever. But it has freaked me out a few times, waking up like, what does that smell? Like, and it takes me a while laying there like, do I need to get up? Is something on fire? Actually, that smells kind of good. Now I'm hungry.
Well, I'm upstairs. My office is upstairs, and the kitchen is obviously downstairs and on the other end of the house. And the dogs open that door, and I can smell that chicken. I'm like, we sure what we're having for dinner? Because that chicken's smelling good.
Yeah.
But nope, that's destined for the freeze dryer.
I will tell you, I have in my deboning of the chicken from the crock pot, I've eaten well.
Yeah.
Lately, like, because it's really hard, whenever you're the family food preparer, not to nibble and taste and sample,
but make sure it's good. Have you tried anything that you freeze dried yet, like your eggs?
I have not gotten to the eggs yet, but hopefully I will soon. I've been so busy with other things, with the storms and everything else, and like just trying to get everything else going, that I'm afraid to crack into some eggs or something.
Yeah.
So I don't want to risk messing something up until I'm fully ready. That said, too, with as much as it has been raining here and the electricity has gone off and on. Whew. Remember whenever I told you I got that giant dehumidifier that can hold like 4 gallons of water before it needs to be refilled? Well, even though I got the souped up edition that has like a pump in it and it comes with a hose, so you can like drain it and you never have to dump it. I put it in an area where I do have to dump it, just because I felt like that was the best place to put it right now, while it's most humid, to get like the most moisture out of the air in like the most efficient space possible. But also because I wanted to kind of like get an idea of how much, like, even though I have the little thingies that tell me how humid it is, in each room, and I've got one in the kitchen now, and I've got one in the bedroom, and I've got one, in different rooms. So I'm just trying to keep track of how fast is that filling up anyway? Because if it was just draining from the hose into the tub, I would have no idea. But I was having to fill or having to dump it, and I have it set for 3 gallons, even though it could hold 4, because I want to make sure I can lift it without asking my husband. So anyway, it was taking about 2 days to fill up to 3 gallons. It is now taking less than a day to fill up 3 gallons. It is raining so much right now.
Yep.
That is so nuts to me.
I am so tired of just want the weather to stabilize. But we did enter hurricane season this weekend, so.
Oh, great. So we're in the overlap between tornado and hurricane. Maybe that explains it.
And when a hurricane comes, and I didn't understand this until I moved south, that during a hurricane, you can also have a tornado.
Yeah.
So, there's that.
Lovely.
Well, do you want to get together and do this again tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
To make up for last week? Okay.
Yeah.
That'll work. Because I should probably go, because I've heard him come up the stairs, and you heard the doggy parade at my stairs. Oh, we need to mention, we have done freeze dryer logbook, and if you would like this freeze dryer logbook, Shel's going to work for throw her under the bus here. Shel's going to put this up on our website. If you would like a freeze dryer logbook. Now, this is real simple. I should have printed out a copy. Every time you do a freeze dryer load, you just put into it your time, your temperature, your food, the weight, and all that. Really easy to use. So if you would like one of these, you need to head on over to our website. I'll put a link below so you can sign up for that.
And let me just say, you want to sign up for this and get this, because if you're like moi that flies by the seat of your pants, you really need Judy's, everything she's done, because she is going to get you in business.
It was a joint effort. It really was. We worked.
It was mostly Judy's brain, because seriously, her planning is just, you need this. I need this. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to start using it.
Yeah. You need to start using it as soon as you can turn that freeze dryer back on.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yep. Okay, so until tomorrow, I'll get this episode edited, hopefully tonight or tomorrow, and we'll get this up. And since we missed last week, we're going to give a bonus episode this week. I know my words. I
was struggling too a minute ago. I think you can tell.
It's so hot, my brain's melting, and it's only June. Okay, so until tomorrow, where you get a whole new edition. Bye.
Later, Tater.